One guy that really stepped up and played really well was Donovan Peoples-Jones. Kevin Stefanski talked about DPJ's performance in the opener.
Really from the beginning to the end, early in the game and then late in the game and throughout, he made the plays that came to him. You mentioned the contested catches, some of them on third down, some in the 2-minute there. And that's a very valuable asset to have as a receiver, where even when you're covered, you're not. So for him to go up and get the ball was impressive in a bunch of those moments.
And Jeff, we've kind of talked about the receiving core. DPJ and Schwartz combined for 100 yards.
Huge. I mean, you're talking about, this was one of the biggest things this year is what were you going to get outside of Amari Cooper? For Anthony Schwartz, it was not a promising summer. But first game this season, 3 touches, 39 yards. That's big. That'll play for this team. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think the key of it, and look, 6 for 60 at the end of the day isn't going to say enough for everybody to get wowed. But Donovan Peoples-Jones' issues through his first 2 years have been the short game. He's a long game receiver. We know that. But it's been the issues of trying to, and it's not necessarily getting open. You're always open some way, somehow. But like I talked about earlier, it's low and away. It's up and away. The one was right at the ground between his legs. He found a way to get underneath the ball, corral it, whatever way the ball was thrown to him. And that was big because obviously, the Panthers' plan was to take Amari Cooper away. David Bell did get some reps yesterday. Nothing thrown his way. You assume he's going to be a factor at some point. There's been a lot calling for these young receivers and trying to get a veteran in here. And this isn't something simply the Browns just do not do. They give their kids opportunities to grow into the role they drafted him for. Donovan Peoples-Jones, we're talking about a guy who was a former 6th-round pick. He's already well surpassed where he was drafted. Anthony Schwartz, the top 100 pick. David Bell, top 100 pick. If you want to say maybe a little bit more pressures on both of those guys, that's understandable. But look, first time out, if you put those numbers between those 3 kids, over a 17-game season, if you can get 1,700 yards on the season between Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz, and David Bell, it's an absolute slam dunk win for this franchise.